Hello. I haven't been on live for a while, but I am here today. So if you are hopping on, say hello. I asked in my stories I think it was yesterday, if you all would be interested in the nervous system reset class that I taught here in my home on Monday night for a group of women. And you said, yes, yes, yes. So I have my notes here and I am going to share information with you all. So I imagine it'll be about 20 minutes. I'll try to be quick and to the point. So if you are interested in having some tools and tips to reset your nervous system, either stick here and watch or make a note to come back and find this live on my profile so that you can take the time to watch it. So, because as we enter, especially this busy season, right? We are entering in the holiday season and it just seems like things amp up for us, right? And so having some tips and knowing how to calm your system really does matter, because if you are normal, right? You are racing around, your mind is going a million miles an hour, and our bodies rarely have time to rest. We really have to be intentional about that. And I think that is the thing. I heard a little tidbit from a podcast I was listening to this morning, and it resonated so deeply with me that our bodies were not meant to be so stimulated. Like right now, you literally have the access to hear about all kinds of news all over the world, 24 hours a day. And that is really just not good for our nervous systems, friend. As much as it's great to be in the know, it's really not. We are not created for that kind of high stress, right? So I'm going to invite you just to take a deep breath. I should have had a nice cup of tea here, but I have water, which is good. We need water. And we're just going to share these tips together. And hopefully you'll feel equipped. So I have my diffuser going here. There is that, but I'm going to keep it over here. What are my thoughts on people saying our brains need to be bored? I think that there is something to be said for that. I think that there is a lot to be said about meditation and focusing on something and slowing down and being intentional, because it's hard for me to do that. But we are conditioning our bodies to want stimulation all the time. And that's just that our bodies aren't made for that. That's just my take. So, and I'm not a doctor. So, and I'll say that right now, I am not a doctor. I am just a 58-year-old mama, a yaya, and someone who has had a journey with health and wellness. I love supporting moms in the home and just being a resource. And so anyway, so there's a little bit about me. So, okay. So first off, we are going to understand the nervous system. So you are probably familiar with this, but let's just all have the basics, right? So your nervous system is your body's communication center. It tells every cell whether you're safe or in danger. You're probably familiar with this, right? There's two main states. You have your sympathetic, which is your fight or flight, right? Your freeze, that's your stress mode. Who feels like your body is in that stress mode a lot of times, right? I feel like that is what we are conditioning our bodies to always be in by being so busy and having so many things, right, thrown at us during the day. And so that whole question about being bored, I think there's something to that. So again, we have the sympathetic, right, which is your fight, flight, freeze. Then we have your parasympathetic, which is your rest, digest, and heal. That is your calm mode. So if you think of those two things, right, we really want our body to be in the calm mode where we are resting. We're able to efficiently digest, right, what we're eating. It can be in a mode of healing rather than using all its energy to be in that fight or flight stage, right? So most of us spend our days in that stress mode. Raise your hand. I mean, I will be the first to admit too that I have to be very intentional about carving out moments in my day where I will take myself away from the stimulation, right? It's because of our pace, that overstimulation, and an emotional overload. Amy, yes, you are answer. I saw that question about morning sun is good for a boatload of things. Yes, I will touch on that here in just a second about morning sun, also grounding. So, I will say for me personally, and maybe this resonates with you, in the last 3 months, I feel like I am carrying a big backpack of emotions that are really hard for me to carry. It's been a really hard season. And so if that's you, then yeah, we want to learn how to help our body be in that, tap into the parasympathetic, right? We don't want to be in that sympathetic fight or flight. So and you can train your body to shift from that stress to the calm. And that's what I'm going to share with you here. So the signs of a stressed nervous system. Okay, this is a test, but you are not going to be graded. So you get to answer yourself. You do not have to answer here in the comments. But so here are some signs that your nervous system is stressed. A tense jaw, or maybe your shoulders you're like this. You find yourself often and you're just like, man, I just need to release a little bit, right? If sometimes I find myself when I'm driving, I get kind of tense like that, right? If you clench your jaw at night, that's another sign that maybe, there's a little too much happening, right? A racing mind and anxiety, those are feeders of that fight, flight, freeze. Fatigue, but difficulty sleeping. So if you find yourself tired, exhausted, but when it's time to go to bed, you're like laying awake for hours, that's a sign that your nervous system is not balanced, okay? So irritability or brain fog. Yeah, that's me sometimes, and I experience it more when I'm stressed. I can totally tell. So, and then cravings for sugar or caffeine. The sugar one especially, but if you really crave or need caffeine to get through the day, then and your body is like doing this all the time, that is not a good sign, right? We are not helping it stay calm and balanced. I'm a girl that loves a good cup of coffee, so but I keep that in check, right? I don't need that. I find it as an enjoyment, right? So all of these signs are not like failures, like you're not the worst or anything. They're just messages from a body that really wants to be heard. It's wanting you to take notice. These are the signals. It's like sending up smoke signals, right? Hello, I need some help. You need to balance me out. And so these are what we're going to talk about. So how about some daily habits? And you guys, many of the things I'm going to share, they cost you nothing but maybe your time, okay? So I'm not here to sell you X, Y, Z and the other thing. There are some great things that you can purchase, but you have available free things, okay? So morning habits, let's start there. Hydrate early, okay? I started this habit several years ago. When I get up, the first thing I do is I come down to my kitchen sink, I fill up this jar of water. I put a little bit of Celtic sea salt in it. When I say a little bit, maybe a half or a quarter teaspoon. I fill it up with water and I drink that first thing after I've brushed my teeth. But before I have coffee or anything like that, you want to give your body hydration, and water and electrolytes or salt. Another one that people love to add to their water is this Ningxia Red, which is a wolfberry puree. This is amazing for the body too. And I'll touch on that in a few more minutes, but so good. So morning hydration. The next one, okay, and that's free. Even if you just do water, and you probably have some salt around. Don't use Morton's. That's not going to help your body. You want a Celtic sea salt is what you want. So hydration, ground yourself. Okay. So that could be barefoot out on the earth. And when I say earth, I mean bare feet on grass, dirt, sand, or concrete, not asphalt. But you want to be having your bare feet touching the earth. So you can also go out and ground by putting your hand on a tree trunk, because that tree is connected to the ground and to the earth too. And so you are getting that grounding from that. It is fascinating. I'm not going to dive deep into grounding. You can ask ChatGTP or you can Google the benefits of grounding, but you guys, so good. And it is free. Have I heard of the hydrogen bottles? I do have a hydrogen bottle that I got about 8 years ago, and about a year ago, I pulled it back out because I hadn't been using it. And that's actually what I use to do my first 16 ounces of water of the day. I do the hydrogen water. So, and again, I haven't dug in deep. And I mean, I know that there's good pieces to that. So I'm like, I have it, so I'm going to use it. So, okay. So hydration, grounding. So grounding outside, amazing. But grounding in the sense of maybe it's prayer, maybe it's stretching, just kind of getting in tune with your body. How long to ground, you guys? I would say there's probably some scientific amount that you need to do, but anything is better than nothing. And so what I love to do is introduce a habit, and sometimes we just get so caught up, like, oh, if this expert says you have to ground for 15 minutes a day to get benefit, then we say, oh, we can't do it for 15 minutes. So then what? We don't do it at all. So I'll tell you, I go outside. I might be out there 5 minutes someday, some days 10 minutes, some days 2 minutes, and I don't worry about it. I just know I'm going out there. I have an intention that I'm going to do it, and anything is better than nothing. Okay. And it doesn't have to be first thing in the morning for your grounding. You could totally do it anytime during the day. I just happen to be outside because I go out for sunrise. And so I'm going to double dip when I'm out there. If I can be barefoot when I'm out there watching the sunrise with my naked eyes, also great for your nervous system, then I'm going to double dip like that and multitask, right? So that grounding, prayer, meditation, maybe reading your Bible, whatever that looks like for you, doing that in the morning. Breathing. Oh, you guys, we have lost the art of just getting deep breaths. Many of us are breathing really shallow, which actually puts into that fight and flight, right? So you want to be taking deep breaths, slow breaths, and it just gives your body the message that I'm safe. And that's what really we are trying to portray. And then one of the things I love to do in the morning is diffuse oils in my diffuser, or I can just simply put oils right in my hand and have a human diffuser. But here's one of my favorites, especially in the morning, is Young Living's Valor Oil. Simply put it here, go like this, rub it together, and breathe it in. It's like your own human little diffuser. It is great. So don't feel like you have to have some big fancy stuff, okay? Okay, so those are some morning habits. And as I'm sharing some of these habits, I want to encourage you, pick one. Don't think, oh my gosh, I have to do, 6 new habits starting tomorrow, blah, 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 and get overwhelmed. No. Pick one new habit to start implementing. And then once you have that habit kind of down and you're like, I want to do something else, then you can add in something else, okay? So midday reset, it's always good, right, to check in with ourselves. So moving your body, especially if you sit at a desk for, a good portion of the day. Me, I work from home, so it's not that big of a deal for me because I am moving around my home, sitting down, getting work done, but we want to be intentional to move your body. So doing some squats, You know, standing up from your desk and doing like 5 to 10 squats, amazing. I love to walk, so that is a great one. That is so therapeutic for your nervous system and your brain. So many benefits for walking, you guys, so much. Another one, nourish wisely. We have been, programmed for so long to be eating low fat, right? And now it's changed. They have just kind of brought to the forefront how we need healthy fats for our brain to function well. And so it's so critical. You want to be nourishing your body. And so that gives it that safety that it needs, right? So healthy fats, protein, so important, right? And then getting omegas. So I use product from Young Living called Green Omegas every couple days. It's so make sure you're getting omegas so that it will nourish your brain. And then one more supplement that I really love for the nervous system. Young Living has a supplement called Super B. You want to be getting B vitamins, friends. It is imperative to reduce that brain fog, that decision fatigue that we feel. It's great for your mood, mental clarity. So good. So make sure that you have a high quality B vitamin. I have the gene mutation MTHFR, and I can take that one. You want to be careful if that is you, then make sure that the supplements that you're taking are going to jive with your body. Okay, so we covered a few morning habits. Now we had midday habits. And now the evening, because after like a full day, you've had a day, right? And this is going to be the part where you're just prepping your body to really get some great rest. So one of the biggest things that has been a huge game changer for me is taking magnesium. I love to take magnesium an hour or two before bedtime. So you might have a favorite magnesium that you use. I'm going to share my favorite magnesium that I have used now for almost 2 years, but it's this BioOptimizers Magnesium Breakthrough. Why I love it, it has 7 different types of magnesium. So they serve all different functions in the body, which makes it amazing. I don't have to think about which one do I want to take at bedtime, which one's going to give me diarrhea. Like, I don't have to think about that, right? So you can, I'll share some links here in a little bit, but if you don't want to wait for the links, you can comment the word calm. I'll send you the link to that and just a video that I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. So if you are having to hop off, you can do that. But magnesium is huge, friends. If you are not taking magnesium, you are missing out, okay? So the next one is if you can do an Epsom salt bath, or even a foot soak. And it doesn't mean that it has to be every night, but every couple nights, take some Epsom salt that has magnesium in it, put it in your bath, and you can just use that. If you have essential oils and enjoy that, add some lavender or some peace and calming to that and take a bath. If you do a foot soak, like we don't have a bathtub in our home, so I have a foot soak. It is so lovely and it is so calming to start kind of that wind down, right? If you have a diffuser, one of my favorite things to diffuse before bed is cedar wood. It is amazing, and frankincense too, and you can apply those topically. And then here's the kicker. And when I taught this the other night, I asked us all to be honest who followed this rule, and it was not very many of us. No screens. My notes gave me 30 minutes before bed, before you go to sleep, but I'm going to tell you, I think it's better at least 1 hour, right? And if you are looking at screens, having blue light blockers is really important. So anyway, so those are some of the things that you can do throughout the day to really help your nervous system thrive and not go into that fight or flight mode, right? We have to be intentional, friends. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the vagus nerve, because this is critical. It is your body's calm switch, okay? So I feel like it's kind of really getting a lot of attention right now, and so we're going to talk about it. So it is a powerful tool that really can shift your body into calm. So the vagus nerve is the main pathway of the parasympathetic nervous system. It runs from your brain to your heart, to your lungs, and then to your gut, okay? It helps regulate breathing, heart rate, digestion, and mood. So isn't it interesting, and maybe you have found this, when you are super stressed, who has issues with their gut? Yeah, it's all connected, friends. It's all connected. So, and a healthy vagus nerve equals greater resilience to stress, emotional balance, and inner peace. It really makes a difference. So, symptoms of a poorly toned vagus nerve: easily triggered anxiety or overwhelm, okay? Do you find yourself when something just a little bit gets off track during the day, like you have taken a dive bomb? You're like, I gotta check out. That's a signal that we've got a problem here, right? If you have continued gut issues, maybe you have constant constipation, or, just every time you eat, you're really get an upset stomach. These are signals, right, for you to be aware of. And then that shallow breathing or difficulty calming down, right? You are going to have to be really intentional in getting that vagus nerve to be responsive. So, and the best part is you can activate and strengthen your vagus nerve through natural practices. And again, this is free, okay? So there is a video that if you comment the word calm, I will include that video link so you can watch it, because I can't play it here, but it is from a Dr. Schwartz, and the video is about 5 minutes long, and it talks about this deep diaphragmatic breathing that you can do, and it's amazing. So then, did you know humming helps reset that vagus nerve? So if you're just to some music you're listening to, you are resetting the vagus nerve. It's amazing. So, I can't read that very fast. Good. I will have to come back and read that comment about the veal relief. Okay, cool. Yes, about the vagus nerve. Okay. And gargling will reset your vagus nerve as well. Cold water to the face will help. And then a jaw or neck massage will reset that as well. So just think about one of those activities that you could put into your day. For me, it's easy to do the humming, truly, okay? I will tell you, if you go watch the video that I'm going to send you, I'm going to give you a little example of what the video and the breathing that she's talking about, but it's deep breathing, and you make this sound. She equates it to a foghorn. So it's like you're going, take a deep breath in, and then it's like a foghorn, but it's rumbling here and it's activating your vagus nerve. Fascinating, friends, fascinating. And again, it's free, okay? So that video, I think you will find super interesting. And then one other thing that I'll share in that information, what we made when I did the workshop here in my house the other day, we made a vagus nerve roller with essential oils. And so it really is awesome how you can put together items that will help your nervous system. So the roller that we made, and this I have, if you comment calm, you'll get all the information. So don't feel like you have to write it down or remember, but this roller has a lot of different oils. And so all I do is, I'll take it off, and I can rub it here, or you can rub it over your heart, basically anywhere. It smells so lovely. It has lavender, lime, clove, bergamot, juniper, Roman chamomile, vetiver, Melissa Orange and Petitgrain. So you just mix this up in a roller and you can take it anywhere and use it anytime, and it is amazing. So let's talk really quick about a couple things. The science behind aromas and the brain, okay? I've been using essential oils for almost 13 years, so I'm very familiar with this concept. But if you are not, the science behind when we breathe in a scent, especially an essential oil that is tiny molecules, goes right into the brain area within seconds, friends. It is stimulating your brain. So it is fast acting, and it is amazing what can happen. So this was a study I thought I would be fun to highlight. It was in Kyoto University in 2024. 50 women wore rose essential oil patches daily for 1 month. So then after that, they took an MRI. An MRI showed increase in gray matter, especially in the posterior cingulate, which is linked to calm, memory, and emotional regulation. You guys, that's all they did was use a rose oil patch, and that's how it impacted that part of the brain. There was no changes in the amygdala or the orbital frontal cortex showing specific beneficial brain growth. So it wasn't like it made the brain grow, but there were changes there that the MRI saw. I just find it so fascinating. So, all right, a couple of other products for my friends that are Young Living users you'll want to know too. So why does it matter to do these things, right? And especially using essential oils? Well, therapeutic aromas can calm the nervous system, like I said, very quickly, enhance neuroplasticity. And what that means is it will rewire your brain. That's literally what it does. So it's amazing. Support emotional and cognitive health, okay? Cognitive health is how we're thinking, like how is our memory, all of that. So important, right? So, and how does that work? The olfactory nerve connects directly to our limbic system, which is your emotion and memory center. And then smell bypasses thought. So it influences your stress, your mood, and your body rhythms instantly. This is why, you might have seen a video of an infant crying, and then somebody takes the cap off of a bottle of lavender oil and just puts it in front of their nose, and the baby is breathing it in, and literally within 15 seconds, it stopped crying, and it's like, it's fascinating. So that's how fast it works. So, okay, a few other Young Living products that you might find helpful. I mentioned Ningxia Red. This is a whole body support. It's a wolfberry puree. Tons and tons of studies done on how it helps the immune system, heart health, sleeping better, so much good stuff. So make sure that you are using your Ningxia Red. Super B, which was the B vitamin that I mentioned for mood, focus, and nervous system health. It really does make a difference. And then I wanted to mention this packet here. This is the new Daily Hormone Essential. Young Living just released this in July, and it is a product for women. You can use it postmenopausal, menopausal, premenopausal. We have people that are using it in their early 20s to help regulate their cycles, and it's been fascinating. There's no hormones in this at all, but one of the things that makes it super beneficial is it has ashwagandha, and that will help your nervous system and your stress response. So powerful. So if you haven't tried that yet, for sure, give that a whirl because it's really helpful. And then some of my favorite oils, really so many are so calming, but lavender, you probably knew, that's the Swiss Army knife, so good. Love me some Valor, orange, bergamot, peace and calming. Literally, we have so many to choose from. So it really just depends on your personal preference. So, okay, so there you go. I'm not sure how long I managed to get that. I was hoping 20 minutes, but maybe I got a little wordy. But go back, rewatch this, share it with a friend. Remember, comment the word calm, and I'll send you the link to that video that talks about that deep breathing. I'll send you the link to my favorite magnesium that I use. And if you need to get some essential oils, and I would love to help you, there's a link for you to be able to shop and do that. But taking care of your nervous system now, getting into some habits before things get really crazy with the holidays coming up, will really make a big difference, friends. And so remember, we're not going to be overwhelmed. We're just going to choose one thing to start, right? So maybe it's tomorrow morning, you're going to get out and you're going to get some grounding, or you're going to hydrate first thing in the morning, or you're going to go out for a walk midday, right? Several choices, and you get to choose, because it's small, consistent daily habits. That's my theme in everything, friends. We don't choose to get overwhelmed. We're going to choose to take one small step, one new daily habit, and then implement something a little further down the line, right? Use this roller. If you have the oils, make up the blend that I'm going to share with you when you comment calm. Diffuse with intention in your diffuser or your human diffuser, right? And just breathe deep. That is going to help let your body know that it's safe and you won't go into that freeze or fight and flight state, right? So, all right. Hopefully you found that helpful. Again, if you want the links to anything, just comment the word calm and I will send those over to you. But yeah, thank you so much for showing up, friends.